When a soul is eventually deciding to return to Earth in a new incarnation, it can be a hard decision for many. According to Dr. Newton's studies, the time spent in the between lives area has been very harmonious and pleasant, and the soul knows that it is going back to a new life of challenges. Still, when ready, almost all souls feel they want to move on and have a new experience in space/time, because there is where we mature and help source experience itself. Souls know, while in time and space, that this is their purpose. Still, there are a few who decide to stay in time and space, sometimes perhaps forever, and this is accepted, but it seems like these souls are quite rare. Souls, before they reincarnate, have made plans and decisions how they want to live their next life. They have, with help from spirit guides, soul groups, and the Council of Elders, reevaluated previous incarnations, looked at where they succeeded and where they need to improve. When all that is clear, the soul, which is about to reincarnate, decides when and where on the planet this will happen, which bloodline it wants to incarnate in, and whom else from its soul group it wants to reincarnate with to have the best chance to achieve the goals for that lifetime. More often than not, other members of our soul group reincarnate together with us to play a role in our development, as we do in theirs. These other members may not incarnate at the exact same time as we do, but when appropriate during that lifetime to be of most support. It's almost like we're plotting a movie and then become the actors in it. Before making a final decision, the soul that is about to reincarnate is showed into a room with something which looks like a big control room filled with computer screens and advanced technology. There we are shown different available body types which could possibly suit our mission in the upcoming lifetime. On a screen, we can watch a holographic version of a potential lifetime, inhabiting a certain body. Then we go to the next and the next, until we've seen the potentials of all the available bodies to be able to make our final decision. If the soul, which shows us all this, disagrees with our decision of body choice, it may give final advice, but it seems like it's ultimately up to us to decide which body type we need and want to best accomplish our goals. After have said goodbye to our associates in the spirit world and had a last visit with the Council of Elders, we once again return to Earth, hover around the pregnant woman whom we have decided should be our mother, and at a certain time in the process we enter the body. At the time we're born into the physical, the veil of forgetfulness hits us, and we lose our memories of previous incarnations and the spirit world to be able to have a richer experience. Our task is now to figure out what our goals are, and as best as we can attempt to accomplish them. It's okay to change our goals as much as we want. No one will stop us. And sometimes that turns out to be good decisions due to unexpected circumstances, and sometimes it's not. A new evaluation next time we enter time/space will determine how well we succeeded. Dr. Newton says in Destiny of Souls that the spirit world is a place of order in contract to our earthly existence, and the Council of Elders exemplifies justice. It seems like they are not the top source of authority in time and space, but they appear to be the last station of being responsible for souls who are still incarnating on Earth. When I first read about the Council, I had mixed feelings of having such an authority in the spirit world. But according to all subjects whom Newton has hypnotized, the Council can be firm and bluntly honest with us when we are standing before them, but they emit an abundance of compassion and patience for a soul's weaknesses. We will be given a lot of second chances in future lives. However, most lifetimes will have challenges that are at the level of, or slightly above, the capacity for the soul to handle. If that wouldn't be the case, the soul wouldn't learn much. Still, on occasion, it is decided, in counsel with the soul, that it needs an easier life next time, sometimes due to extreme difficulties in the previous life, and the soul now needs to rest. More often than not, the soul is accompanied by its spirit guide when led before the council. Ceiling. There are rays of light shining down. The holy ones are seated at a long crescent-shaped table. I move to the center of the room in front of the table, while linnels stand behind me to my left. The sole purpose, as it seems, of meeting with the council is to achieve assistance in order to prepare for the next life. Although authoritarian in appearance, the subjects say that the council is benevolent and very helpful in this respect, and not at all a punishment or judgment. I found out later, as I read more from Destiny of Souls, that Dr. Newton had had the same thoughts. He, too, was wondering why an authoritarian setting for the council is necessary if this whole afterlife experience is so benevolent. He continues, why not a simple countryside scene, if they are so full of benevolence? While the younger souls told me that this setting was right and proper for their examinations, the older souls explained that there was a major reason for a domed enclosure. With this design, a higher presence effectively focuses its light energy on the entire proceedings from above. Apparently, we appear before the council right after an incarnation, and also, many say they meet with them just before the next incarnation. The first meeting seems to have the most impact on the soul. The previous life is carefully reviewed during this first meeting. Karmic forks in the road are carefully evaluated, and the soul is very aware of things that didn't go as planned, especially if it hurt somebody. Both the positive gains and the mistakes are discussed in depth, while the second meeting, just before rebirth, is much more relaxed and focuses on what is coming more than the past. Further, Dr. Newton here tells us that our guides are normally escorting us to the meetings with these ascended masters. Ascended masters is an interesting choice of word, and I keep wondering if that was the doctor's choice of words, or if it is commonly used by his subjects. It's hard to know, but it doesn't seem likely that this council is the ascended masters whom are channeled by certain people here on Earth. The guide is normally standing in the background during these meetings, being very quiet. The reason for this seems to be because her and the soul have already discussed the last life with each other, and now it's time for the evaluation together with the elders. However, the guide interacts when the soul seems confused and uncertain to clarify and help the soul out, which sometimes can be of quite significant assistance. This is how one of the subjects describes a meeting with the council. The time of my expectation has arrived. I am to see the holy ones. My guide, Linnell, comes and escorts me from my cluster group down a long corridor past other classrooms. We move into another area with a larger hallway that is lined with marble columns. The walls are textured with what looks to be frosted glass panels of many colors. I hear soft choir music and string instruments. The light is a subdued, golden tone. Everything is so relaxing, even sensual, but I am a little apprehensive. We come to an atrium filled with beautiful plants and a bubbling fountain of water. This is the waiting area. After a few moments, Linnell takes me into a round room with a high domed ceiling. There are rays of light shining down. The holy ones are seated at a long crescent-shaped table. I move to the center of the room in front of the table, while Linnell stand behind me to my left. The reader may have doubts about this, just as I did, and as Dr. Newton did, but perhaps it is like Dr. Newton figures. He suggests this suspicious mindset we may have is due to our cultural conditioning. He realized that going before the council has many different facets. The elders are like loving but firm parents, managing directors, encouraging teachers, and behavioral counselors all rolled into one. What souls feel for their counsel is reverence. Actually, souls themselves are their own severest critics. I find evaluations by our soul group companions to be far more acerbic than any council elder, although our peers do lace their criticism with humor. The souls are telling Dr. Newton that even when they feel nervous before the meeting, this always goes away as soon as they stand before the elders, and that they are made to feel welcome almost at once. The council knows all about us already, including all our past incarnations. We are like an open book to them. However, according to the subjects, when a soul comes before the council, the latter has still not made up their minds about future incarnations. They first want to hear the subject out and find out how the soul feels, and what it feels is the next step in its development. They ask us about our intentions in the past lives. If we were positively or negatively oriented, did we let the body take over, or did we shine through as souls and merge with the body to create a whole? How do we handle power? How do we treat others? They don't seem concerned with how many times we fell down in our progress in life, but if we were able to get up on our feet again and brush ourselves off, or not. Normally, they don't dwell on the most recent lifetime very long, but are more concerned about several lives viewed together to see how the soul is progressing.